Wonder Widget here. I'm deep in the high Sierras near a natural hot spring, and I'm searching for the ever-elusive Wonderhussy in her natural environment.
Hello, Wonderhussy here, about to set off on another backpacking adventure to a hot spring. And when I go backpacking to hot springs, there's only one guy I call upon to be my guide. And that's Widget! Wonder Widget! You probably remember him from our last backpacking trip where you dragged me up into the mountains in the snow and ice and we had to huddle in a shack drinking scotch in a rainstorm.
I remember that.
I bet you do.
But you embraced the suck.
I did embrace the suck. But you're also making up for that by taking me to an awesome sunny hot spring.
And shall we take a little walk down the trail now?
Let's go! This particular hot spring is located in the southern Sierra Wilderness, and it's not all that difficult to get there. It's about a 6-mile hike from the parking area, but it's all downhill. The parking area is up around 9,500 feet in elevation, but the hot springs are only around 6,500 feet. Of course, that means we're going to have to hike back up 3,000 feet on the way back, but on the plus side, by then we'll have eaten all our food and drank all our booze, so our packs will be lighter. It's a pretty straightforward hike along an obvious, easy trail through amazing smelling pine forests and lush, grassy meadows that look like something out of a Disney cartoon. A beautiful creek flows along beside the trail for most of the hike, and there's something like 6 water crossings, but because there wasn't much snow last winter, they were all really easy. The water was low, but there was still plenty for filtering and drinking, which helped keep our packs even lighter, since we didn't have to carry much water. There were also a lot of really cool old cabins along the trail. Apparently, there used to be a resort at these hot springs back in the early 1900s, and I was hoping that the old resort buildings would still be standing, even though it looked like a pretty significant fire had come through this area in the not-too-distant past. It was just a beautiful hike, and I couldn't wait to see the springs, even though there were something like 8 or 9 cars in the parking lot when we left, so we figured they'd be kind of crowded. I mean, I had read online that this was a pretty popular hike, and apparently that was the case, even on a Tuesday. Anyway, it took us about 2.5 hours of hiking until we descended out of the forest and into an open meadow. And there they were, the hot springs. Doesn't look like anyone's over here. Oh, it's on the other side of the creek. Dang, this is like Saline Valley hot springs. Apparently these jets come down real low. But hey, look at this. We finally made it across the river to the hot spring. I cannot wait. I think this is one of the pools right here, actually. There's a skimmer here to get rid of the algae if you want to try that. Oh, wow, yeah, look, there's another couple other little soaks down here. This is absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at these waterfalls. Ugh. Yeah, this is good stuff. And then what's this, the source coming out over here? Ooh, yeah, that is nice and toasty. Okay, so basically what we have here is one big murky pool up top, a couple little waterfalls down by the creek. They're probably a little bit cooler because you can see that hot creek coming from the source is going right into that big murky pool. So that, I'm gonna guess that's the warmest. These two here probably aren't bad. And then, well, it looks like there's a really nice, oh wow, that looks like another hot pool over there by that ladder. Oh my goodness, look at the ladder. Stop it. Oh my gosh, there's a hot waterfall coming down. Oh, I know where I'm going. Okay, I gotta be real careful with where I point my camera because me and Widget both just dropped trow. And you know how YouTube is about that. Keep my camera pointed down. So he said that one there is lukewarm and then this one right up here is hot. All right, well, I guess I better get it and see for myself. Oh yeah, it's pleasant on a nice sunny day. Oh my God, but look how beautiful the creek is coming down around this bend. Oh, golly. Okay, I'm gonna go back up to this second one here that he said was real hot. This might be good for tonight. Oh yeah, that is nice. This one's about big enough for 2 people to lay in under the stars. Oh my God, can you imagine how the stars are gonna be tonight? Oh. Okay, now I'll climb up top and try this uppermost pool. Oh gosh, yeah, pretty hot. Whew. Okay, before anybody else shows up, I gotta go try out this waterfall pool. With the ladder going down to it. Now that is cool. Oh my God, look at this waterfall. How cool is this? Oh, the sun's right behind it. That's kind of a bummer, but you can probably see it's got all these really cool mineral formations built up on it. Look at that. Kind of reminds me of something. I won't say what. All right, let's see how hot the water is. Oh, it's cold. Oh my gosh, it's a cold waterfall. I thought it was gonna be hot. What a surprise. Weird. Normally you see this kind of mineral. And look, there's steam coming off at the top. Oh yeah, I guess what's going on is there's hot water coming out of this pipe, trickling out, and then cold water. Oh no, this is hot too. This is a hot water. Ooh, that's a real nice hot waterfall. I guess it's just mixed with the river water. There's a lot of river water coming in over there. Man, this is great for like hydrotherapy. Whoa, it's hot! Woo! I mean, somebody else is obviously camping here because, well, unless somebody left their water bottle here, and then there's a blue REI bottle over there, that's not ours. So unless those were just abandoned, there's some other hikers up here, which stands to reason. I mean, there were 10 cars in the parking lot, but I suppose they could be anywhere. Anyway, it's really cool how somebody left these chairs. Somebody took the time to pack these chairs up here so you have a place to set your gear. Love it. I'm gonna put my camera down and go for a nice, relaxing soak before we go find a place to set up camp. Oh yeah, that feels amazing. Oh, that's pretty nice. Look at all those bubbles coming up. I don't know, some of you might be grossed out by this algae floating on top and the fact that it's not crystal clear, you can't see your feet. But I'm here to tell you, the bottom's actually kind of, well, this is what's on the bottom. It's just dirt and gravel and rocks. It's nothing really gross. I mean, unless you're a total wuss and think this is really gross. Back over here, there's some really cool mineral formations underwater. Look at that, beautiful color. Oh, there's another little, oh, there's a cool waterfall coming down here. Oh, that's a little stream running through the meadow and it dumps out in here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be cold when I touch it. Let's see. Oh, no, it's hot. Ah, ooh, gah. Ooh, ah, it's a hot creek. Oh my goodness, I wonder where the source of that is. To go investigate that later. The nice thing about this trip is we're staying 2 nights. So we have all day tomorrow to explore this amazing meadow and forest, and we can find the source of the hot creek. We can stay out late stargazing. We can, oh, you know what we can do? And you know what I should do right now? It's one of those hot, cold plunges. You know, I'll get in the cold part of the creek, and then I'll get in the hot, nice hot spring. That's so good. It makes your whole body come alive and tingle. One of my favorite things to do, and you can't do it at just any hot spring. It's got to be one that's right next to a creek. Okay, it looks like there's nice access to the cold creek right over here. That looks plenty deep enough to submerge my body. Oh my God, that was so cold. Okay, back around to the hot spring. That was amazing. Whew. Could have stayed down there in that hot spring all afternoon, but it is getting, well, I think it's getting towards 6 o'clock and we need to figure out where we're going to camp. So it looks like we pretty much have this whole meadow to ourselves. I think those Nalgene bottles down there were just abandoned, which is, well, it's kind of a bummer because I do like meeting new people, but it's also amazing to have this entire High Sierra hot springs all to ourselves. Okay, we found a great spot to camp. There's already a big old fire ring here. Nice, flat, sandy spot for me. Nice, flat, sandy spot for Widget. Done. This is the same tent I used on my Sespe hot spring backpacking trip. Widget gave this to me. It's cool because it's held up by your hiking poles. And I got my sleeping pad, 20-degree bag, which Widget also gave me. So I'm definitely not gonna have to worry about being too cold tonight, and that's nice after how miserable I was at Sespe Hot Spring. Okay, well, I gotta pull my pad back out of my tent because I'm gonna set it up into my little chair because it's time for sunset charcuterie. All right, made my little chair. Isn't that cool? You just fold your sleeping pad up into this framework and it makes like a little rocking chair. And it's real comfortable, especially with an awesome view of the sunset over this gorgeous High Sierra meadow and charcuterie, High Sierra style. Look at that charcuterie. We got apple slices, jerky chunks, dry roasted edamame, and peanut M&Ms for dessert. All right, that was a delicious charcuterie and a beautiful sunset. Sun's actually still not down. It was good, but it wasn't enough food, man. I almost hiked 6 miles downhill in Bicum. I want one of them Mountain House dehydrated meals before I get in the hot spring to soak. That means I gotta go filter some water so that I can boil it and put it in my dehydrated pasta primavera. Okay, I filled my bag, and I've got 16 ounces of unfiltered ready to go. That should be plenty to make a bag of Mountain House, and more importantly, a mug of toasty hot cocoa with Widget's special ingredient. Delicious. Cocoa time.
Ready for a little scotch here?
Am I ready for a little scotch? I sure am. This is Widget's special recipe. Just shoot me a little slug there. That'd be great. I'd be much obliged, partner.
Well, let's see how this goes down.
I bet it'll go down just great. Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Oh, thank you for sharing. What a friend. This is gonna be so good in the hot spring. Okay, well, this is about the point of the video where I'm gonna have to wrap things up because it's too dark. You can't see. So you're just gonna have to use your imagination. Imagine you're sitting in a natural hot spring way up in the High Sierra. There's steam coming off the water. There's bubbles coming up in the water. You can hear the sound of the little waterfalls feeding the pool. You're in the middle of this huge meadow. The sun has totally gone down. There's just a little bit of light on the western horizon. And the very first stars are already starting to come out. Oh yeah, and you're also holding a steaming hot mug of hot cocoa. Hot cocoa a la Widget, meaning with scotch. Cheers. Good morning. What a place to wake up. What an epic morning. I can't tell you how amazing it was to sit here naked in the middle of this beautiful high Sierra meadow with these hot springs burbling beside me. Oh my God. It's already like almost 11 o'clock. I've just been sitting here in the sun, buck naked, enjoying my morning. But I'm afraid I'm gonna start getting sunburned, so I need to go back to camp and put on some sunscreen. And well, I guess I ought to think about some breakfast. Okay, change of plans. Instead of eating breakfast, I decided to just have a liquid breakfast of tea. We'll see how that goes. And I decided it's time to start doing a little exploring. Okay, you might remember yesterday on the hike up, I mentioned that this used to be a resort. Somewhere right at the side of the hot springs, there used to be a bathhouse. And then up in the trees above the hot spring, which I'll zoom in, you can probably see right there, there's an old cabin. There's apparently a bunch of old cabins up there. And since it's such an exceptionally beautiful day, well, it just kind of seems like a great opportunity to go up there, hike around, and see what we can see. Okay, the first thing I want to investigate is the source of this little hot creek, which if you remember when I was in the pool last night, is one of the sources that's filling this big pond. So it's coming from somewhere up in the pasture. Oh, here's the source pool. Oh my goodness, look at this. Holy cow, look at how that thing is bubbling away. Oh, it's not super hot. I mean, it's hot, but it's not like boiling hot. You can see I guess that's like the main source pool, but then look over here. There's another little boiling, bubbling hole in the middle of this very interesting, thick, minerally skin. It's like this skin on top of hot cocoa when you make hot cocoa with milk. Look at it. It's leathery. Oh my God. It's just algae. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look how beautiful this is. I don't know if you can make this out on camera, but there's all these orange flies just swarming across this whole meadow. And I don't know if it's just the way the light's hitting them, but they're orange. Man, I feel like I'm in a Disney movie at this hot spring. Everything is just so outrageously beautiful. Like the sky is bluer than blue, the grass is greener than green, the trees are greener than green. Everything is just like on steroids. It's amazing. Oh wow, look, there's all kinds of ruins up here. This is amazing. It's like a whole ghost town. You know, I'm used to exploring these old abandoned cabins out in the desert where it's very arid, and I guess the climate is better for preserving wood, structures made of wood. Well, out here, think about it. They get snow every winter and probably torrential rains every spring. And this cabin has been standing here through all those blizzards and all those thunderstorms. I'd guess for probably close to 100 years. So it's pretty impressive that it's still in as good of shape as it is. I mean, look at that. Even most of these panes still have glass in them. Well, there's really nothing in here. It's just a bunch of old wood, I guess maybe salvaged from one of the other collapsed cabins. But at one time it was a one-room cabin. There was some kind of other little room there. I mean, that looks pretty small. Oh, I think it was a closet. There's a clothes bar in it. So these were probably just vacation cabins. You know, like little vacation cabins that you would rent. A bedroom and a closet to hang your clothes. And then there was a big bathhouse down below. I guess you could use the bathroom and take showers and enjoy the hot springs. But this must have been an amazing resort. Look, old loop of barbed wire hanging there, all rustic-like. And in the shade of these giant pine trees. I mean, I don't know what kind of pines these are, but I do know one thing. They smell amazing. Okay, here's cabin number 2, the next door cabin. Property of the United States, all persons are prohibited under penalty of law from committing trespass. Oh gosh, what a bummer. Okay, so I guess I can't go in, but I mean, I feel like we can at least, I mean, I'm gonna be law abiding for now and not go in here, but look how cool this cabin is. Look at this amazing old dining table and chairs. Really cool side tables, work counters. Oh my Lord, what's on this table? Just reaching my arm over. I'm not going in if the government's watching. Oh, I'm really curious what that thing with a handle is. I wonder what that is. This must have been an amazing lodge. Oh, I just die to see what's around the corner behind that door. But I don't want to run afoul of Johnny Law. So we'll just peruse the perimeter instead. Look at this old wash tub. This is so cool. This is like right out of the Old West. And then there's all these other little interesting alcoves and add-ons, lean-tos. No telling what's back here. Oh my goodness. I'm not going in, just so Johnny Law knows. I'm going right up to the threshold and no further. Look in here. It's the kitchen. Oh, see, you can maybe make out, if you look all the way through, you can see that front room we were looking in with the dining table. So we're not missing anything. We can still see. This was the old ranch kitchen. Isn't that amazing? Look at that big old stove. Cook up some flapjacks. Wouldn't that be yummy? And then look here. Isn't this a wooden propeller of an old airplane? Oh, wait, speaking of airplanes. Dang it. I keep missing them. Apparently we're on some kind of weird flight path. And these huge, like, I don't know my aircraft, but Widget said it was like an F-16. We keep getting buzzed by these huge... They come out of nowhere, man, because they're flying, what? Almost as fast as the speed of sound? I don't know. They make this ungodly racket. And then by the time you hear and look, they're already gone. But some of them have come down really low. And they're doing all these funny maneuvers. And man, try as I might, I just can't seem to catch one on camera. Okay, so that was the kitchen. Looks like there was a light hanging out back. How cute. And then this, I don't know if this was just like a food storage house behind it. Looks like there's, I'm not going to go in. Again, I'm just going right up to the ledge and reaching around with my camera. Really cool old china plate sitting in the window. And then there's another one there on the floor. How about that? Okay, there's one more building over there, but on the way to that, there's just all this cool old machinery left sitting around. Like here's an old axle from, I guess, a trailer of some sort. Wow, look at those old wooden spokes though. That looks pretty old. I mean, don't those tires look like the old-fashioned kind of tires too? Looks like it says October 28th, 1913. Is that what that says? If that's the case, then that is one of the wildest things I've ever seen. An old tire from 1913. Just sitting here, baking away in the sun at this High Sierra hot spring wonderland. I've never been to a place like this. Hot springs, abandoned ruins, old airplane propellers, and F-16s buzzing you from above. What more could you ask for? Okay, well, let's go on into this last cabin. Again, it's got a no trespassing sign. Okay, understood. We'll just look in here. Look at how cool that is. All these old chairs. Oh my goodness, that's like a really old kid's high chair back there. And all these old wash tubs and buckets on the shelves. Oh my goodness, what's this? It's like an old engine from something. A generator? Is that an old generator? This resort must have been awesome. You know, I bet you could go for trail rides, pancake breakfast, soak in the hot spring. Oh, what a place. Okay, now this is definitely an old workshop. Isn't that an old saw blade there for like cutting down big trees? And then there's lots of nails stuck in there to hang stuff. There's the lids for jars that probably had jars full of screws attached at one time. Okay, now we're moving on to what looks like, this is probably just the old riding stables because there's an old corral. Kind of like a paddock. Oh, look at that beautiful pasture over there. Horses had all that nice green grass to eat. Oh, I bet the horses, well, it was probably mules, not horses. I bet the mules loved it up here. You know, yeah, sure, they had to pack all these heavy supplies up that long trail. Probably food and supplies for all the guests staying here, because think about it, how else are you going to get supplies up here? I mean, it was a 6-mile hike down in here, and it was pretty rough, but nothing mules can't handle. Mules are tough. Now we're going up the hill. There's some old foundations and machinery up here, too. God, this place never ends. What does this look like it was? Oh, my gosh. Oh, wait, and the plot thickens. Then there's like these rails. Golly, what do you suppose all this was? It goes over to this thing. Oh wow, look, old horseshoes from the days of when the mules came up here and brought all the supplies in. Isn't that cool? Oh wow. Well, I guess I better stop recording for a while and just enjoy being here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm going to take every last stitch of clothing on my body off, except for my hat and my sunglasses. And I'm just going to hang out naked in the sun and watch the F-16s fly by. And I'm here to tell you there is no better way to spend a late spring afternoon than to laze around buck naked in a natural hot spring at the side of a beautiful creek with nothing to do but sit and appreciate the astounding natural beauty surrounding you. I'm one of those people who's always on the go, go, go. So it was a really cool experience for me to just sit and watch the sunlight playing on the water, the moss flowing with the current, and the clouds drifting overhead, the beautiful sounds of nature only interrupted by the occasional fighter jet screaming by far above. Time seemed to slow down, and for once in my busy life, I was able to really drink in all the amazing wonders of our world. And speaking of wonders, remember those orange flies I noticed earlier when we were exploring the abandoned resort cabins? Well, now that I had slowed down enough to look, I realized they were actually ladybugs. Ladybugs! Thousands and thousands and thousands of ladybugs flying and spinning and drifting on wind currents all around me like some kind of crazy magical snow flurry. I guess they must hatch up here at this time of year, and I was just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, in the right frame of mind, standing naked in a sunny meadow, surrounded by clouds of magic red pixie dust. In my altered state, I felt that each one that landed on me was a blessing that would bring me luck and carry me safely through a world of truth and beauty. Little tiny guardians sent by the earth or God or whatever you want to call it to remind me of just how magic this world really is. The ladybugs, the hot springs, the creek, and the clear blue sky all conspired to create a wonderland, the likes of which I might never see again, and that would be okay, because I had this day, and I'll never forget it. I enjoyed every last drop of daylight, and when the sun finally set over the creek, I snuggled up in my sleeping bag and slept in heavenly peace. I wish everyone watching this video could have a day just like this day was, and I hope this video gives you a fraction of the feelings I had when I experienced it. Well, it's been a beautiful stay here at these awesome High Sierra hot springs, but unfortunately, well, we only plan to stay 2 nights, and now it's time to pack up and get ready to lug all our gear, almost 3,000 feet, back up out of this amazing wonderland. But before we leave, one last relaxing and delicious backcountry breakfast. We got a white trash mocha, that's instant coffee plus hot cocoa, and oatmeal with dehydrated fruit and nuts. I'm gonna need those carbs to get me up out of this valley. Okay, it's time to head up. Woohoo! We made it. All right, we made it back to the cars, and now it's time for our traditional post-backpacking trip cocktail party, where we also showcase all the litter we picked up. That's right, we don't just go down and enjoy the springs and have a good time, we also take out other people's crap that they left behind. We got 2 Nalgene bottles, an old Monster, a Rockstar Energy, somebody's sock, somebody's gasket, and a little glass bottle. But this party isn't all about litter, it's also about liquor. And to that end, we're having ginger beer with rum. It's like a dark and stormy.
Well, here's to another great trip. Let's
Yay!
do more hot springs.
Definitely.